To test out our vertex colors, let's go ahead and export this lamp out. I'm going to select both objects of the lamp and go to File and Export and FBX. I want to make sure and choose Selected Object. I don't want to export everything in the scene at this point in time. And I'll just go ahead to my Exports folder here and I'll call this Table Lamp. All right, and let's export that out. Now, let's go over to Substance Painter and take a look at how we can use those vertex colors to delineate different materials. So over here in Substance Painter, we can bring in that FBX now. I'll go up to File, New, and for this, I'm going to use this PBR Metal Rough template. And let me show you in Unity, if we go back to Unity and take a look at this and just look at one of our materials. Let's open up this coffee tabletop material. We've got an albedo, which is the color channel. We've got a metallic and a smoothness. Now, the metallic and the smoothness is the same thing as, let me go back to Substance Painter, the metal and the rough. So roughness is just the opposite of smoothness, right? So our metal rough template here is going to work just fine in Unity. I'll go ahead and click Select to bring in my table lamp. Here it is. And open. And then OK. And there it is. So now you can see in much the same way that Unity was able to take a look at the different objects and different materials of the model and split it out based on material, that same thing is happening over here. So our texture set, we have a texture set for the lamp base and a texture set for the lamp shade. Now the lamp base, remember, we used the Vertex Paint tool to add different colors to the base. So to use those, if we select the base over here and go to our texture set settings and click on Bake Textures, we're going to bake texture maps out that are going to allow Substance Painter to apply its materials onto the different parts of the object. But in here we need to do one more thing. We need to come in here to the ID section, and instead of having its source be the material color, we want it to be the vertex color. So now if we come down here and choose Bake Lamp Base Textures, it will begin to generate the textures that Substance Painter needs. Alright, so here they are. It's generated a normal map, world space, ambient occlusion, all this, but you can see here it's generated an ID or a color ID map that we can use to split out the different parts of the model. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to create groups or folders here, and each one of these folders or groups is going to allow me to pick a particular vertex color, and everything within that group will only show through for that vertex color. So let's say this is the lamp base bottom, and we'll create another group for the main part, I guess, and we'll create another group for the top part. There we go. So for the bottom, let's right click on this, choose Add Mask with Color Selection. Let's come over here, choose Pick Color. And now we can see those vertex colors that we created in Blender. So I'll come over here and just click on the red part for the bottom, can click on it here or over here. And now whatever we put in this group is going to be constrained by this particular vertex color. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of fill layers right here. 1 and 2, and I need to drag these into the group. So I'll take them into here, and there they are. So let's say we want that bottom part to be kind of a brass color. Here's a brass, I can use that. So I've selected that fill layer and I'll click on the brass and there it is. And notice that it's only showing through based on that red vertex color that we selected. I think I want some sort of dirt or something underneath that, so maybe So maybe I'll choose this steel rough here. Let me choose this fill layer, click on the steel rough, and now we need to allow that to show through. So I'm going to right click on the first layer, choose a black mask, and for that black mask, you can see it showing through there, I'm going to choose a generator. And for that generator, I'll choose a dirt mask here. So now you can see, let me zoom in here, you've got that brass material with that steel rough material showing through. Now we can invert this over here. We can turn the invert on, see how that works. That doesn't look too bad. And we can, of course, adjust all kinds of parameters over here, the grunge amount, the dirt level, etc. But for now, I think I'll just go with this. Let's do the next part. Let's say the next part, we want to be that kind of whitish color that we saw in the reference image. So once again, I'll come up here to that main group, which is this part. I'll right-click, choose Add Mask with Color, and now pick a color, and this time I want to pick the blue right here. And in this group, once again, I want to add 2 fill layers. So I'll come up here, add 1 and 2, drag them into the group right there. And for this, I want to choose maybe this plastic. That's a nice material for this. Whoa, that's shiny. Let's get that the proper color, something like that maybe. And for this one here, maybe I'll do a little bit of fine rust. Let's try that. Okay, so now I can take this one here and add a black mask so the bottom one shows through, and then I'll add a generator to have it only show through based on this dirt mask here. So I click that, begins to show through. Let me click invert, let's see what happens. Yeah, see, I like that. Okay, good. The next one, let's do one last one. Let's do the top. This one I think should be kind of a silver metal. So once again, add 2 fill layers, drag them in, mask with color, select that green, and for this I want a steel rough, and for this one that's going to show through maybe this rust coarse, and then let's add our black mask, add our generator, and select a generator over here. I think I'll invert it. Yeah, there we go. So now it's looking sufficiently dirty and kind of nasty. And there is the base of our lamp. Now, of course, there's more we can do here. There's lots of settings to adjust. But my point here was not to give a thorough tutorial on Substance Painter. My point is that once again, there's yet another way to organize your objects and your materials for export out of Blender. In this way, we had one object, one material, and used our Vertex Paint tool to break that one material up into individual areas that a program like Substance Painter or Quixel Studio will allow us to isolate and use almost as if it's its own material. All right, so let's go ahead and export out our texture maps for this texture set into Unity. And then in the next video, we'll go ahead and import everything into Unity and see how it looks. All right, so I'm going to go up here to File, Export Textures, and I want to choose a configuration here. We've got a Unity 5 standard metallic, which is what we want. We're using that metal rough template. And in here we've got a lamp shade and a lamp base. We don't need the lamp shade. We didn't do anything with that. And the lamp base, we don't need 2048. We could probably take this down to say 512. Let's try that. And within here, within this texture set, you can see we've got the albedo, which is the color channel. We've got the combination metallic and smoothness here. And we've got the normal map and an emission map that we're not going to be using. So I want to select where this is going to go. And for this, I want to put it right in my Unity project, right here. And I'll go into the Assets folder, go into Textures, and this time I'll create a brand new folder and just call this Table Lamp. And in here, I will drop all of these texture maps. So I'll just click Export, and there they go. So coming up, we'll go into Unity, and we'll plug them all in to the Unity material.